Waza. Too old of a commercial. No.
GM.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning for me right here, so it's definitely GM.
Oh, it's 8 p.m. in Italy right now. It's
No,
a GM.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea where it would be 2 a.m. in the world right now, but
I think in Singapore, maybe.
all right, we'll say I'm in Singapore.
Well,
GM,
hello, everybody.
everyone.
GM. This is Brad McFall, community lead with Humanity Protocol. I want to introduce some of our people here and get us started. This is the future of decentralized identity. We're waiting for a couple more people to come on board, and we want to wait as all the people are coming in and get everybody up. But we've got some of our very illustrious KOLs with us today from all different parts of the world. So we'd like to introduce all of them, let them say hello and hi. So those of you who are speakers, who are KOLs and like to speak up and introduce yourself, to say a little bit about your background and your relevance to in the blockchain industry. I guess go ahead, whoever would like to speak first can go ahead and get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Lana Moore. I'm from Paris. Been in London for over than 10 years. Started my career in the corporate finance industry. I was an M&A banker, then worked in private equity, but been interested in crypto since 2017. I recently founded Get Rich, which is a decentralized engagement rewarding protocol, and I'm very honored to be a guest of the space today.
Thank you so much. Welcome. And who'd like to go next?
So my name is Harrow, and that's actually my real name. I have key opinions, and I lead on those key opinions. I'm pretty good at round tripping everything. I put that as my bio because that's probably what I'm most known for, doing that and drawing triangles. I've been here since 2015 or 16, and I don't know why I'm still here. I enjoy it though.
Hey, triangles are great. That's wonderful. And I believe Alex, or who else is here that Coin would you like to speak?
Yes, of course. Hi. Coin mühendisi, English meaning coin engineer.
And yes, sure. And what is your relevance to the blockchain industry?
Firstly, I want to say I am honored to be invited to this Twitter Space event, and also thank you to Terence. I want to say about Coin Engineer. Coin Engineer, we are the Turkey largest crypto community and the largest crypto YouTube channel, Twitter. We also in Telegram, we are the biggest one. We are also media partner of the world's biggest crypto events like for example, Token 2049 or Core Blockchain Week or Binance Blockchain Week, we can say. And then lastly, I want to say we have received many awards globally in the crypto. For example, Binance selected us a crypto personality of this year. Maybe you saw in Binance Twitter, I don't know, like that.
Wonderful, great. And I believe we have one other person. Go ahead.
Yeah, morning everyone. Alex Kruger. Let's say I've been in crypto for 11 years. Before that, spent 15 years doing FX and commodities. And what else? I'm just a trader. I don't know what else to say.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we all are in a way for all that we do. So, Terrence, are you able? I see you're in the audience. Are you able to speak and to join in with the conversation here?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It's great to have, Alex, Lattimore, Harrow, everybody to be on for tonight. Justin, I am coin engineer. I think it's 2 a.m. Where I am right now. I'm currently in Hong Kong, so I had a couple drinks earlier, so I might not be the most eloquent, but glad to have everybody here. I'm the founder and CEO for Humanity Protocol. As everybody who's on here probably knows, we're building an identity-focused blockchain, starting with proof of humanity, leveraging palm-based biometrics. I think it's really appreciate having all the guys here who are joining us to speak. All of them are keen supporters of Humanity Protocol. Some I have met in person and have had multiple meals and drinks and conversations. Some I've only actually connected online and haven't had the chance to meet in person yet. But definitely appreciate everybody's support. I think we have some really exciting stuff that we're planning to announce over the coming days and weeks, and some of which we'll probably talk a little bit here on this Twitter space. But yeah, so I think for me, I'd rather be sort of, I wouldn't say I want to be the host. I'd rather be a sort of participant for this discussion. So Brad, maybe you can sort of take it over.
Okay. Sure. Well, we have a few introductory questions, and I think I can ask you some to give some information to help our KOLs get situated here. Can you and you can of course can ask them these questions too, but we have some other specific questions for the KOLs. But in general, we'd like to talk about decentralized identity and the future of decentralized identity. So, how is decentralized identity management evolving to address the current challenges in the digital industry and in digital industry management in general?
I think here's the thing, right? Like when we look at, I think I've spoken about this a couple of times in previous spaces or in podcasts or even in sort of public speaking engagements. I think decentralized identity is something that a lot of it's since I think the ICO days in 2017, it's been built as one of the sort of key use cases for crypto, for Web3, for blockchain technology. And there's been a number of projects and companies that have been trying to do that for a while. Nobody has been really all that successful per se. I think we're hopefully trying to change that. And I think ultimately it's down to a couple of things. Number one is that I think some of the projects in the past, it's a little bit too early. I think now is sort of perfect timing where we actually have an engaged ecosystem where there's many, millions of people who are part of this community. And then the other thing is, I think in a very idealized world, people think about sort of technology changing the world, and everybody wants to sort of build this technology and be part of this technology for the sake of making the world a better place, which unfortunately is not necessarily true. I wish it were true, but I think one of the key things is, as with all sort of Web3 projects, one of the key things is it's about how do we design sort of an incentive mechanism that actually makes sense so that we can actually bootstrap a network, get people to participate in ways that we would want them to because of human nature, right? If we think about sort of decentralized identity, I think one of the key things that people have always thought about, and is, hey, you know what, technologically, this makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, when it comes to implementation, it sort of generally flops because why? Why do I need it? Why do I want it? Why would I ever want to put my information on the blockchain? Why would I want my identity in a decentralized manner when I already have, you know, my driver's license issued by the government? I have my birth certificate issued by the government. I have my, you know, my college transcript issued by my university. I have my KYC. I have my, you know, various different things that are already out there, right? So it's how do you actually build something that is better than what exists, and ultimately, more importantly, it's how can we make sure it's actually has more utility than what exists, right? And I think for us with Humanity Protocol, it's from the ground up. We're thinking about how do we create the incentives mechanisms, how do we create sort of the technological architecture so that we can enable this. And just my last point is, you know, ultimately for us, Humanity Protocol is about building out sort of an open identity blockchain where different sort of identity validators can issue, you know, verifiable credentials and attestations for different sort of attributes for human beings, right? You know, a university is saying that you actually went to that school. Your hospital is saying that you actually did your body checkup and this is your health status. A government issuing a national ID saying that you're, you know, 25 years old, you're French, you know, and you're born in this place and you're male, right? But I think one of the key things that we're starting with, and I think it's been sort of the thing that has captured most people's imagination, is the proof of humanity piece through biometrics. Like with that, we actually think we're abstracting out a lot of the more sort of higher bar applications and sticking with something that everybody here, whether it's, you know, my sort of other speakers on the space, or even a lot of you guys who have tuned in have experienced, right? How do we actually prove that somebody is a human being, whether it's in the Web3 space or Web2 space? In the Web2 space, I'm sure you guys have probably logged onto a website, tried to sign up for some sort of service, and you're getting CAPTCHA after CAPTCHA, trying to solve this puzzle, do this, you know, mathematical equation, just to prove that you're a human being. And you're sitting there, you're like, what the fuck? I know I am a human being. Like, why are you still asking me all this stupid stuff, which is pretty complicated to solve sometimes. And then when it comes to the Web3 world, we're experiencing a lot of problems because obviously a lot of projects have tokens. Tokens have potentially monetary value. And networks or projects or applications generally want to incentivize people with tokens as an airdrop or as an incentive mechanism to get people on board. And if there's no good way to check whether somebody is a human being or not, then what we're getting and what we're seeing in the past is a lot of these rewards and airdrops are going to bots, or even what we call farms, right? Like people who are running multiple Android devices or computer programs to simulate, you know, tens of thousands, if not millions of wallet addresses, simulating different sort of transaction types, just to claim that reward or airdrop from a project. You know, and it's problematic because number one, they add very little value. These are people who are claiming an airdrop or reward and then dumping it and causing troubles for the project themselves or the market. And then it's unfair, right? It's unfair to real people who are really trying to build a community around a project and help it grow and make it sustainable, make it valuable. So I think that's something that, you know, we're trying to solve. And I think the way we look at it is that obviously, I think one of the key things that people have historically looked at in the blockchain space as a challenge or a deterrent to mass adoption is user experience. Everybody talks about user experience. It's clunky to use wallets, this and that. And then obviously transaction cost and transaction speed, right? When you compare sort of blockchains, interacting on Ethereum is much more expensive than interacting on a centralized service. Obviously, Solana and some of these other chains are trying to solve this problem. You look at sort of transaction throughput, TPS. Some of the blockchains are trying to get to the same levels as what centralized services would be at. But one of the key things that's really interesting, because I was actually having a conversation, a meeting with Base, the guys who actually run Base out of Coinbase, literally just yesterday, and the head of Base and we both agreed is that if blockchains are able to solve this problem of transaction cost and throughput, another problem would actually come out, which is the bot problem. Because if there's very little cost to create bots, and it's largely a pseudonymous network where you can just whip up wallet address after wallet address, essentially every single blockchain would get botted to shits. Because, it's great that, Solana or whatever blockchain can do 50,000 transactions per second. So what if I actually if it's cheap enough, and everybody's trying to make blockchains cheaper, if it's cheap enough, I can just go whip up 100,000 wallet addresses and actually send through a transaction every single second, in which case I would have actually just completely jammed the chain. So I think for us, proof of humanity is about like our humanity protocol, our own blockchain, but it's also about providing sort of an attestation service for other blockchains and other ecosystems to help them understand what transactions originating from who or what sort of wallet addresses are actually human transactions, in which case potentially there could be prioritization or certain types of incentivization or discounting for these transactions to go through. I think I've spoken enough, so I think I'll hand it back to somebody else.
Yep, you've definitely hit almost all of the questions I had planned to ask. So without me having to ask them, so that's been wonderful. I just wanted to give you a chance to either let everybody know about the testnet before we start asking the KOL some question, and or about how they can join the wait list and.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to do a little bit of marketing. Obviously, there's a wait list on humanity.org. I think it's like 900,000 people at this point. Feel free to please do join it. Tell your friends about it. Let me see, where are we right now? I think it's probably somewhere around that number. Please do help us get to 1 million.
Sure.
And yeah, we're at 876,000 right now. So we're 100 something thousand shy. So please do help us get there. The second thing is we haven't announced this yet, but I'm going to just announce it here. We are actually planning to launch the testnet sometime in September, early September. I'm not going to give an exact date, even though I kind of know what the target date is, but shit tends to get delayed. So I'm not going to give it out in case people and my team starts bitching at me for that. But the intention is for us to actually launch testnet sometime in early September. There is a conference that I'm speaking at called WebEx in Japan next week, and then I'm also speaking at Token 2049 in Singapore. I think the second week of September. It's going to be sometime in between those two dates. And then I think for testnet, what we're actually going to do is we're going to start allowing some people to leverage the software to go scan their pumps. The first thing is people will start being able to, essentially everybody's going to be able to come on to the testnet and actually start reserving their DIDs. So your DID is going to be something like, I don't know, Terrence.human, where it's unique to you. And it could tie into one or multiple addresses that you have. For now, it's going to be EVM, but down the road, the idea is that it's going to be other ecosystems also. But you can reserve your DID on the Humanity Protocol testnet, our ZK EVM layer 2. We're going to start opening up some people to be able to actually scan their palms to prove that they are a unique human being. So that's going to be a great experience. But what's going to be really interesting is leading up to Token 2049, we are actually going to have a physical space there. It's going to be a small, cozy, nice physical booth where people can actually scan their palm through our palm print and palm vein biometrics technology to be able to prove that they are a unique human being. And as part of that, they will actually be able to start earning and claiming testnet reward tokens. And there's going to be a referral mechanism. You can refer friends. If they're also in Singapore, they can also do it. And those testnet reward tokens down the road will translate into hopefully something pretty valuable. So that's sort of the plans over the coming couple weeks. So everybody's really busy at work trying to get this launched.
And so, well, yeah, great, fabulous. And so while you've been busy getting all of that going, you've had people that have been supporting you for quite a long time. These KOLs who are the backers of Humanity Protocol. So unless you have something else, we're going to, would you like to say something else, Terrence? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I think that's all the marketing message that I want to get through.
Cool. And I will have another marketing message at the end, but you'll have to wait for that because we want to hear from the backers. So could we start with a little roundtable? I know everybody introduced themselves in the beginning, but what I'd like to know now is how you decided to support Humanity Protocol and why you like the project. So each of you can come on up and just, speak. Go ahead, whatever turn you like. It's fine. Would whoever like to speak first, go ahead and start.
Yeah, Lennon Moore here. Oh, sorry.
Okay, Lennon Moore, go ahead. No, I know. I should probably call on you so people don't step over each other, but Lennon Moore, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me again, Terrence. Good to hear you. I think when the opportunity came to my desk, as I told you before, I good part of my career been working for private equity funds, and I like to look at when I see an opportunity at the total addressable market. So the scope that it covers, even practically speaking, when I started drafting my investment thesis, it can, very simply, you can think of all the hassle to just keep all your personal info. How do you keep them safe? All those, like there was, again, I think in the US, social security, data breach, whether you get your digital identity being stolen every day. So just, getting back control of this in a decentralized way was, just this first idea of having a solution. And then I guess we'll get back to the Palm technology and everything later. But total addressable market, the number of case studies can be applied in so many industries. Like I've been working in the banking industry for a while, but whether it's KYC, as Terrence was saying, whether it's as a healthcare provider, as myself running a decentralized social media engagement platform called Reach, where what matters the most is making sure we're having genuine and real people on it. So yeah, the scope and the scale and just the fact that it's also giving back control to giving people control again of their own data, which has been a bit, big. It's a huge market. I couldn't even put a number of it, but and yeah, I think those in like the financial industries, the healthcare industries, they need to be shaken up a little bit, and yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's sort of my high level investment thesis that I have, and how would you on top of that, I had the chance to do a few calls with Terence and the team, and the vision, and you know, the team is the team, the idea, the team, the execution, the way things have been organized around the project. I think I was sold.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, that's great. Thank you a little more. Hero, could you let us know a little bit about how you got interested in Humanity Protocol, and why you like the project?
My answer is going to be so little brain, but Altcoin Sherpa said this one's going to 100x, so you should invest. So I was like, all right, I'm going to invest. I honestly had no idea what Humanity Protocol did. So Terence, thanks for letting me know what it does. You caught me at CAPTCHAs and puzzles and stuff because I absolutely hate CAPTCHAs. I must be a bot because I can't solve any of them. So if I'm trying to get into a Telegram channel or something, it's not working. I just kind of give up partway through. So that does actually make me really excited to see the vision and future of what you're doing, other than just me thinking number goes up, which I think it will. But yeah, that's kind of why I invested. I kind of blindly ape into things people tell me I should ape into. So there you are.
Okay, great. Quinn Engineer, could you let us know? Same for yourself.
Okay, thank you. Also, we thinking same for our other with other speakers. I want to say about humanity. We had a very nice interview with Terence at Token 2049 in Dubai, and also I heard now Terence will join in again Token 2049 in Singapore. We have to do it again our interview because Turkish people was so liked our interview. We can do again about humanity technology. I think technology of the humanity project really excites me because of I I believe palm print technology. Also, I want to join. How can I say? I want to join your testnets. Of course, I want to join. I want to win your airdrop. Me and me and all my followers waiting your testnet and waiting your airdrop.
Okay,
I hate to
perfect.
say this because of Turkish community liked airdrop. Also, how can I say 1 minute? Palm print technology, I think not about just crypto. We can think it must be great to move around the world with palm print technology, having no belongings anywhere in the world. This is really exciting, and I am sure we are moving to new level in security and KYC. That's all.
Okay, great. Justin, could you tell us why you decided to support Humanity Protocol and why you like the project? All right, Alex, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, cool, excellent. I think framing is important here. So before Humanity Protocol, let's put it within context. The Humanity Protocol is a play in within the AI space in crypto, right? So we start from AI. Right now, it's where markets and humanity in general, we are undergoing the largest technological revolution in history, pretty much. So there's basically one thing or two things to invest in, which are basically AI and crypto for me. Within AI is we start with stocks, right? And that's pretty much mainly NVIDIA. But if you want to be more specific, you can be investing in it's basically cloud computing, warehousing, machine learning, and things basically covering both AI software and hardware. Then we go into crypto, and crypto basically has, the way I see it, has within crypto AI there is 5 categories. it starts basically, we have open source LLMs, so large language models, and LLM governance. We have open source smart agents. We have train to earn and data processing protocols. We have decentralized compute, and the fifth is pretty much proof of humanity. And here I think it's important to discuss briefly to mention briefly what proof of humanity is. It basically is a system or mechanism used to verify that someone or an entity or a thing, or an account to be more precise, is indeed human and not a bot. And this is very important for two reasons. It's again going down a tree like in branches. We have the Web 2 aspect and the Web 3 aspect. And the Web 2 aspect is pretty much KYC. We can think of basically Twitter needing having a requirement or an unmet need to prove that everybody on the platform is a human. Or you could actually spin it around and say, actually, we actually welcome bots, but let's know who is a bot and who is a human. You can think the same way for exchanges. I mean, okay, it's like we could even have bots trading with their own accounts, but exchanges need to run KYC. And KYC now relies heavily on video, that I think we are a month away to actually the video proofs that crypto exchanges use to basically be gamed by bots using AI technology. So, and then on the crypto side is pretty much what Terence was talking about, is civil attacks and pretty much people running bot farms for gaming pretty much anything. I usually assume that any protocol I am trading, investing, or looking at in general is 90% bots, their metrics. So this is very, very bad for anybody launching protocols, because even though you, on one hand, you welcome bots because they beef up your metrics, you know that anybody running bots is what we call value extractive. So it's pretty hard to understand where you're standing if most of your users are bots and you're not even sure how many of those are bots and how many are real people. And that's where proof of humanity and specifically humanity protocol kick in, I think, which is a way to verify with an extremely high degree of confidence that the account you're interacting with is a real person. On Web 2, they use CAPTCHAs for this, they use email verification, they use all sorts of things that they don't really work that well, and they're gonna start working and getting worse and worse through time. I think the way I see it is Humanity Protocol works on both ends, helping both Web 2 businesses and Web 3 protocols know who they're dealing with. And then finally, why Humanity Protocol? Well, you can, there's two things. One is comparables. You look at WorldCoin, which is the leader in the category. Its FTB is up in the multi-billions. So from a comparables perspective is a very good play, I think. And then, well, there is actually nobody else. There's no major competitors aside of WorldCoin. And my last comment is anything on the proof of humanity field. Sorry for taking so long, but anything on the proof of humanity space is very heavily dependent on very, very high level business development. So you need a very strong team for delivering on that. And I know Terence, so I'm bullish on Terence pretty much. So I think he can deliver on the vision.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So you all have spoke a little bit about why you were interested in Humanity Protocol. Are there any other specific use cases that you might want to call out that Humanity Protocol is super good at solving? And if not, I'd like to ask Terence a question about his favorite use cases, which might be the fair drops.
Yeah, so I think for us, we see the solution, especially when we look at sort of an open identity blockchain, to be useful for all facets of Web3 and sort of crypto. I think in the future, right now we have Web2, Web3. In the past, there was like Web1 and Web2, right? At some point, I think the internet, everything's going to be abstracted away. And even, my grandmother might be interacting with something that's being hosted on a blockchain without knowing it. So I'm not going to necessarily try to make that differentiation, but I think when we sort of look at the crypto space, airdrops is a big thing. Everybody launches, everybody that's tied to, sort of crypto, whether it's infrastructure or applications or games. There's a token component. Generally, you do want to sort of reward people who participated early as the network is being built. Biggest problem with airdrops, as we've seen before, is farming and Sybil attacks, right? So we actually ultimately want to make proof of humanity a sort of market standard for airdrop claiming, right? At the very least, it might be the case that, hey, you know what? If you control a number of different addresses and they've interacted with a project and you deserve an airdrop, maybe you get it, or maybe not. But if you prove that you're a human being and this is these are your addresses, it's a unique address, then you get to claim your share, right? So I think that is one key thing for us. But then, the other thing that we look at is beyond sort of the just a proof of humanity piece, and we go into sort of the identity side, right? And with the identity piece, we actually think there are a lot of use cases that are not currently solved. Like in the sense that there is no central repository. There's no centralized service where people can prove where they went to school, prove their medical records, prove where they've worked before, or even their KYC, right? So what we actually want to do is allow sort of these credentials to be issued on Humanity Protocol once and for all. And then, different sort of applications and developers who might want to query this sort of information will need permission from the user. But then ultimately, what we're trying to drive also is an incentive model so that ZK proofers get paid a little bit, the identity validators that are issuing the credential gets paid a little bit, the network also gets paid a little bit for providing this service. And we think this is important because it's akin to sort of the physical world where, a lot of us, all of us probably have a passport. And the passport is issued by the government, right? So think of the government as an issuer and identity validator that has issued this passport. And so when you want to go to a bar and prove that you're over the age of 18 or 21 in the case of the US, you sort of trust it, right? But imagine a world where there is actually no government. And historically, a lot of identity projects or companies in the blockchain space have been focusing on creating a fully decentralized system where essentially anybody can be issuing these sort of IDs and anybody can be consuming these IDs. But what you end up creating is a world where essentially I could go and say, hey, you know what? Alex Kruger is actually a 15-year-old girl, which is in all likelihood not true. But anybody could be issuing any sort of information about anybody, in which case none of the information or none of these credentials become useful at all. So what we're trying to do is essentially create a network where the credentials are issued by somebody that has the ability to do so, and then issue it on Humanity Protocol, where there's some sort of gatekeeping on this information, and ultimately create the widest ecosystem for this open identity network.
Wow.
So, I think for us, there is the proof of humanity piece where we think one of the key use cases is actually in sort of airdrops and, like games. You don't really want to be playing against bots, all that sort of stuff, or even in the Web2 world, Twitter, like you really, you kind of want to know that the person you're reading about, or that influencer, or that, that account is actually controlled by a human being rather than necessarily a bot that's just generating ChatGPT content, right? But then the other thing is also then, in a world where actually Web3 is sort of abstracted into different sort of applications and people can easily engage with them, we ultimately also want a world where there is easy ability for people to verify truth, right? It's like, imagine, like, I actually just made some new hires recently in the management level, and also like more junior engineering levels. And my HR team had to go do background checks, reference checks, check with, okay, this person said that he went to the school, and then on top of that actually worked in these 4 companies. Then what I ended up having to do is actually go and check that, well, literally call up the university, call up the university, call up the companies, and say, hey, you know what, did this guy actually work for you? How was his performance, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas imagine a world where, hey, you know what, this guy could literally present a certificate on Humanity Protocol that says, yes, this person did work for this company from this year to this year in this role, and he was not fired. He left on his own right. This person did go to this university from this year to this year, and he had a 3.9 GPA, and he studied computer science. So what we're trying to create is, an open network where this could be enabled.
Absolutely, 100%. Wow, that's really cool. And you've actually set up the perfect segue for me to talk about the marketing initiatives so that people can imagine that world that you've just set so eloquently before us. But before we do, I just want to reach back to the backers and ask you all, do you have any last things you'd like to say before I conclude? And then we're going to open some questions that might come your way, or to Terrence. Do you have any other things that, based on anything we've been talking about, that you wanted to say before we move on? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for my end, I just wanted to say, because I was running something from my project Get Rich. For the ones who knows, the code is humanity lowercase. But also wanted to touch on something else that it goes back to also to what Terrence was saying. But I think probably the largest opportunity, and one of the largest use cases, is most likely microfinance or micro lending, where you have countries like India, or a lot of countries in Africa, where it's even, you don't even know who is you don't even know what, some people don't even know how, cannot even prove how old they are, like the whole identity still haven't been digitalized. So if you think of microfinance, and can you imagine the scope and the scale of what it could be, where you could potentially, all those unbanked people that never got access to anything, they could have, like, on chain over time, create sort of a on-chain credit score that would be, linked to their, like, track record. They would, it's it's incredible what it could do. It could, literally save those people from never get, like, a loan, never get even being able to show what they could have as a collateral. So I truly believe that it could disrupt the entire financial industry.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting, because I think one of the things I actually spoke to a friend recently about is if we look at sort of DeFi and crypto, all of DeFi is over collateralized lending, right? Because you have no clue who anybody is. In fact, obviously you have like you have like flash loans, you have all sorts of stuff in the crypto space, and you can't hold people accountable, right? And let alone that, you don't even know who's a bot and who's actually a human being, right? So, but when you look at sort of how finance has developed in the traditional world, it gets down to always it's under collateralized lending, or even like no collateral lending, as you mentioned in the microfinancing space, right? So I think one of the key things is how do we build up some sort of identity network so that lenders can get comfortable with under collateralized lending, or down the road actually no collateral, zero collateral lending, so that finance could truly be decentralized and enable a lot of people.
Right.
I want to say one thing. I want to say there. I think it's a very interesting point. It's this the trust component. Like in the borrowing and lending space, the more trustworthy your counterparty is, the lower the collateral you're going to require, and therefore the higher the returns, and the more efficient the system is. In trading, if you don't trust your counterparty, if you're a market maker, you're going to spread it out. You're basically going to spread the bid-ask spread because you don't know who is on the other side, or you actually don't trust that person. They may be bringing toxic flow, etc. Overall, I think this the trust component in business is pretty much almost everything. If there is trust, the risk premium you require to invest in something is going to be lower, and so on. So I think this is a very important angle, how something like a Humanity Protocol can help business counterparts feel safer about their counterparty, and therefore extracting lower fees, and everybody wins. I don't know if that was clear enough, but just an idea.
It's very clear, and it fits it right into the humans on humans versus humans and bots. So we need to be cognizant of both sides. Our counterparties are, whether it's a bot or if it's a human. So you need that to be secure and trustworthy on both of those angles as well. Hero Coin Engineer, do you have any last things to say, or shall we open the channel for some questions and see what people would like to ask you all?
Yeah, I'm good with just questions.
Okay. All right, great. And before we do, though, I just wanted to let everybody know in the community that you all have been super supportive of us. You may not have seen it just from here, but we have got a lot of people on this space here that are new, and we wanted to tell you that if you come on over to Discord, we have a really cool a campaign that's been going on. Humanity Protocol is now partnered with Wide Worlds to help shape Proof of Humanity's brand marketing. So we talked a little bit about marketing, but this is now going to be a way to decentralize our marketing so that the whole community is actually helping us to create the brand and the market as we go along. And they have a very cool AI generated avatar system, or actually for all different kinds of images. We've started it with AI generated avatars, and we're going to be starting with villain bots immediately following this spaces. So come on over to the Discord channel. You'll be able to submit them. You play around and regenerate them using a variety of prompts. And we've already had a couple of hundred people starting to participate in that, but we want to open this up. We're going to start now. You can create your own avatars. In this week, we're going to be working on creating bots. And then in the next weeks forward, we're going to have this sort of thing where we have the bots versus the humans, and you'll be able to create more images and things around that. You'll then be able to come here onto X, post information, about what who your bots are, and get people to vote for you. And those are the higher voted images, and it will be used to create the narration that we'll be going forward with as we develop the Proof of Humanity, and we humans start to take control both of the bots and of those other humans that we need to take control of. So I'm really excited about that. And with that, I'd like to ask our background engineers to see if we can call up some people. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand, and we'll bring you up and see what questions you have. And let's see if we have some questions coming up. Checking. I don't see anybody yet. We do have someone, so just hold on, everyone. We'll get it. We have a question coming our way. And The Renegades. And also you'll be able to see while we're waiting for them to come up. You can see some of the images that have been created out on X that have been posted. Here's one about our Renegade Squadron from the Philippines. Our tag-along squad. They've actually labeled themselves as various individuals there. Let's see if we have our caller up yet. Wanderlust. Oh yes, go ahead. Go ahead. What's your question, Wanderlust?
Yeah,
Or
thanks.
Wanderlust. Sorry, Wander.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot for giving me the mic, giving me the opportunity. All these things being said, all the things have been thought, and giving the future of decentralized identity. That's what I have been interested in that thing. But dude, can I propose one thing, if you permit me? I have a question. Definitely, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. Thank you. See, yesterday, me and my friend, we were debating, and the friend said that we have seen everything. We have seen from the pages. We have seen seen from the facts. We have seen the SMSs. We have seen the WhatsApp. We have seen the evolution of identity technology. That's fine. So, my friend got a newborn baby now, and he is saying that, what if my child can dream of travel to the Mars?
Dream of what? I'm sorry, I missed what you said. What if the child can dream of what?
Dream to travel to the Mars, Mars, the planet, the
to Mars. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, to Mars. Yeah. So what? Yeah, it is going to happen. It is going to happen in real time. We don't know what will happen in 20, 30, 50 years down the line.
Yeah,
I wish everybody should be there.
So what's your question?
So my question is the future of decentralized identity. Dude, please don't take me wrong. Please. I would like to humbly put it. The identity itself is in the crisis. And what do we mean
Protocols
in
here to
this?
solve. Yep, and Humanity Protocols here to solve that crisis that we're in. So thanks so much for that question. Yeah, that's sort of the reason for Humanity Protocol's existence. So I thank you for putting it out there, because that's exactly what Humanity Protocol's here for. I think we have one other caller, Jik. You want to go ahead and ask your question? Go ahead. If you're able to speak, go ahead. Sorry. I guess Jeek hasn't made it. So that will, I guess, bring us to a conclusion here on X for now. I'd like to throw it back to Terrence if he wants to have a closing remark or something like that, and then we'll meet everybody over on Discord. But Terrence, the floor continues to be yours. Please let us know the good word.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for joining us. Thank you guys. Alex, Sarah, Lana Moore, Gwen Engineer, everybody for participating. And thanks for the question. I do think we're all going to Mars. I as I mentioned before, some exciting stuff in terms of the launch of the testnet. There's also going to be we're going to do a bunch of stuff at Token 24/9 in Singapore. So please do look out for announcements. We'll be physically there, and you'll actually be able to join testnet, participate early. Hopefully, the reward component in terms of how we think about airdrops and fair drops and whatnot. We do think this should become the market standard for Web3 industry. So, glad to have you guys on board and be part of the community so early on.
Thank you so much, Terrence. Thank you for all of our guests. Thank you, Alex, Coin Engineer, Hero, and Lamar. We'll have to do this again some other time. It's been great. And just everybody stay tuned for Humanity Protocol and what in Humanity with a lower H. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.